Good morning, Chelsea. Can you raise your hand in your webinar panel if you can hear me? This is Cammie Nara, NCDPI. Oh, shoot. Can you hear me? Hello? Okay, it's working. Hello? All right. Well, looks like it's working. All right. Send her. Okay. All right, well, Chelsea's not answering me, but we're going to get started in just a minute. Turn the sound off on the phone.
I was late getting here and did not get the Wi-Fi password. Did either of y'all remember that?
Daytona 500 or the capital D. All right, well, I'm just going to assume that Miss can hear me. All right, good morning. Thank you for coming out to NCEES today. So we usually try to do a couple introductions, so if y'all just introduce yourself. You've been here before, but.
Sure, I'm Kim Russell. I'm the HR director in Burke County.
I'm Dean Richardson, HR Director of Alamance Borough.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna try to get through our slides, but I'm here for the whole day if you need me. I know they want to do a shortened session for the power school session. They're restructuring what they're doing, so they're just getting information today. All right, so this is our slide deck link. Is everybody in okay? Did you get on the internet okay?
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and use my.
You can wait.
Did you? Okay.
If you've been here before, you might get forget.
Well, and I can't remember how to make it forget.
Oh, you're on back to. Back, right, yeah.
Yeah, I don't, it saves my password when I'm up here and then they change it, and so it still tries, and usually the tech guy has to come in here and I can't remember how to erase the password. So I think I'm just gonna use my hotspot. Okay, let me just get over
You're welcome to use my laptop if you want.
No, and maybe I can search once I get on my hotspot.
Okay. Okay. I have I turned the clicker on.
I was up here for the BT support meeting, and I think
Yeah.
the password at that time, I don't remember, was not Daytona.
No, they changed it off now here, so, which is what you're supposed to do. Okay, just do please, sign in today. And you are both members of our Google group. Email each other out there. And then this presentation will be in our HBMU folder by the end of the week. So that's where I keep our shared document. And y'all know what products we have, so I won't go read through that. And why we meet is so I can bring you news, and then you give me feedback and ask your questions, and we'll get answers for each other. All right, so today we're going to talk about features and updates this morning, and the issues that have been going on, go over those. We have some additional information about NCEES, and then we always do a palette of your successes and challenges. And then we had scheduled within our time frame this afternoon to go over EOY. So if you have any specific questions, or if we just want to go quickly through that, you need to see anything, just let me know. And then our networking time. All right, so new. I tried office hours last year. And nobody called in. Nobody came on the little time frame I had. So try something new. So I set up the calendar for Wednesdays and Fridays. So if y'all need to contact me for any reason, you can have a 30-minute call, and it'll let me know ahead of time what you want to talk about, and you can have some one-on-one time. And so I hope y'all can use that. I don't mind if you give it to another admin to use. I don't want some of the teachers calling me, but so if you need to, on occasion, me talk directly to a teacher, we can use this too. Okay. All right. And training accounts, I don't know if y'all were using our training account site. I probably need to advertise it again. But if you need a place to go take screenshots or to sit one-on-one with somebody to practice doing an orientation or doing an observation, this is a good site. And actually that third link is where you go sign up for the logins that you want. And then use the top link up there to go to the training site. The username is the wrong name. So I'm trying to give everybody, principals, district administrators, so look at the roles. Because it says teacher 4 over here, but they're set up as a district administrator. And then the site administrator, of course, is the principal. And since we refreshed to the new data for this year, plans may need to be reset. I have not gone in and reset any plan type. So if you are using this for training, you probably want to go ahead and do that a couple days before you have your training so that they'll process. Any questions about that? So this is our release dates for the features from Power School for NCEES, our Perform, Enterprise, and Professional Learning. Our next update is April 4th. They are actually focusing a lot on professional development. Is either of your districts using PDL? Can people create courses or learning opportunities?
We're starting to experiment.
Okay, so most of the updates are going to be for that side of the system. It's going to be more the tab version that we're seeing on the some parts of the evaluation side of it. But it'll be a whole lot easier to navigate. As they do new updates, I'll try to if it's going to look different. All right, so for our NCEES roadmap, we've been having a lot of discussions up at DPI with Power School. And with you guys, because we've been wanting to move to the new observations and new forms that professional learning and Perform Enterprise can offer us. There's a lot of good features that you guys have been asking for. The 10-day date listing, so when the principal starts that orientation, when the teacher does the first steps, and then the principal has to follow up within 10 days. There'll be like a little time thing on there that lets the principal know when that 10 days is getting there. And more of a way to change plan type. So we need to test this out. So if they were on, somebody put somebody on abbreviated, but they really need to be on the standard, it won't be that you have to set the new plan type, go in, recopy everything into the new plan type, and then archive the old plan type. It should be able where you can turn on and off what standards you need in that plan as soon as you change the plan. name tag. So we do need people to help test that out if we're moving forward. So here's our factors to consider. First, CMS, Charlotte Mecklenburg, has their own talent ed system for evaluation. They're the only district in the state that has their own system. They have to be synced with NCEES because we need that end of year standard ratings report from the whole state. And that's legislatively required. So right now, that thing happening, so we have their evaluation. But moving to the new forms that sync, there's going to be a whole lot of fields to have to refigure, reconsider, and rebuild. Usually, so we were trying to come up with a way. Come on.
So hard to get away.
Oh, you're fine. Come on in. I'll back up if we need to touch on some
Okay,
things.
did y'all already meet as a whole group?
Yeah, in there, yes. Yeah. So we're talking about the NCEES roadmap. It is continuing the sync with CMS. The Power School came up with a quick report that I at state level can run. The report will live like on CMS server, but it will combine with our my login. So I can run a report at the end of the year for those standard ratings and get Charlotte Meck ratings and get the rest of the state's ratings. And those ratings go to Tom Tomlin's department and then help inform EBOS decisions. Okay, so we have that report tested. It looks like it's gonna work. We still want the vendor to back that up and make sure they provide that data in case the report. So we think we can just continue to sync. It's been approved by our data management group to move forward. Still all in negotiations, all the paperwork has to be done and all that. But that would then pave the way for us upgrading to the new forms and observations. We really wanted to have that in place by next fall. That would be a quick timeline because we'd have to be in place by July 10th for the year-round school. So things to consider. Our contract with Power School ends in March 2022, same as the SIS contract. So if this is getting ready to move in that RFP season, NCEES should be right behind that pretty soon. That may affect whether we have a chance to upgrade. Other big issue, budget. UPI has no money. We don't have a budget, so we don't have any way to pay for it. And then should Power School absorb the cost? We're gonna have more discussions about that. We are their statewide system, and they've learned a lot from us, and they are trying to roll out to other states like Alabama and other states. So they should definitely absorb a lot because we're working together for the good of our people and then also for the good of their, what they promote as a statewide system. Any questions about the roadmap? So just stay tuned. They'll know if we can move there by the fall. And if we don't move by the fall, the RFP process is going to hold it up until we just have to have somebody put in a bid to give us what we're wanting for that. Okay. We had a district request and we add another budget code, object code, and that's code 128. Anybody using that for retired teachers that they rehire? There's probably should be a lot in the state, but there should be some. I brought this before Robert Sox, who's our business owner for NCEES in the Educator Support Services Division. And he said, yes, they should be in NCEES. So I'm moving forward with that process. And of course, it has to go through our change review board and the data management group as well. So hopefully in the next month or so, this can be approved. And then we have to decide, is it too late in the year to implement it now? Or can we implement it now? Would that be affecting you guys with seeing new names in the system? And or should you just wait for this fall to use 128? Okay. Anybody affected by the retired teacher code? Need help getting logged in?
I'm in.
I'm still trying to get in.
Okay. All right, anybody here have HRMS as their HR data or pay code?
We switched to link.
Okay. Okay, so just real quick, there was a big issue with the TNL fees, the credits that are in the system to HRMS as of last August. And in December, it quit working. And we found out it was because we had had bought their own PD system and they wanted the sync to feed to their system as well. So when they fixed new handovers to work, it broke ours. Then they had to go back and figure out what broke. They finally fixed it and backdated all the data to December 15th. So they're working now. The other thing we did was add the DLC credit types in that pool. It wasn't coming over because it was brand new the year before that. Okay, some news about the technology credits. Anybody's district's awarding technology credit. So this is what I found out that I didn't know what I didn't know. So technology credit is not required for licensure. It's DLCs now or literacy. So if you're awarding just a plain technology credit, we've had some teachers leave a district where they had their technology credits, go to this district over here, and that district says, no, those are just technology credits. We can't use them for DLC. So then the teacher had to go back to their other district, get them to update what was in NCEES to be DLC credits, and you can do that. And I'll walk you through how to do that. But we're coming up with communication for the district. Robert's office said, well, yes, we probably should have technology credit in NCEES because it's no longer a valid credit type for licensure. Apparently it was discontinued 10 years ago. They let the districts continue using it for a couple of years. Around 2016, it should have gone away. So watch for that communication, and I'll show you. Let me see if we have any questions real quick. And then we'll show you how to do that. Any questions? Let's see, Chelsea has her hand raised. Okay. All right, so I see we've got more people online now. And we'll back up a minute in case y'all just joined us and just quickly go over what we've gone over so far. We're going to try to end early today around 12:30, but I am here for as long as needed. So if everybody online would please raise your hand in your webinar panel that you can hear me. Okay, I see some hands going up, a few hands. All right, I'm gonna put your hands down, and can you see the screen? Will you raise your hand? Okay. All right, that looks good. I see about half of you raising your hand. So if you have any issues, try to put in a question. Let me go check questions one more time. I'm putting the hands down. You do have a questions area. In the chat area, if you can see that, I put some links to the slides today and to our Padlet that we'll be doing later. All right, so let me get the questions out real quick. All right, so don't lateral people still need technology credit. So I have to take that back for Robert Socks to answer because he'll answer the policy side of things. Maybe we need to get licensure in on that question as well. This is not a done decision. It is a decision we're moving forward with, but we will find that out. My understanding that technology credits now live with the DLC credit type. So we will check on that and I'll have the answer sent out to you, to everybody. Okay, I don't see any other questions right now. All right. So we'll just zip through the slides real quick, because we had one come in here today too. And if you want to ask a question, just put it in. If you can unmute yourself, I don't mind if you talk out, that's fine. All right, so you guys can't see the screen. Okay. All right, so if you missed it, I do have calendar hours now, office hours. So you can click the link and find a date and time that you can We can set up a 30-minute call, so y'all can ignore that. And it's self-explanatory. Once you go in there, you just fill out a form, tell me what your question is, and it will email me so we can set up that call. There's the training accounts that you can use. Use the long name, the username for your login name, and the password is training API. I do ask that you go out to that spreadsheet and put your name beside the group of names that you're going to use. And if you're done using them, please go out there and take your name out. Feature updates are coming April 4th is our next one. And that is going to be mostly a professional development update for the PD side of the system. I do not have the release notes yet, but I'll let you all know as soon as I get those if we're going to have a webinar about that. And then our roadmap, we're on hold with upgrading to the new forms due to the sync has been approved by our DMG board to move forward with discontinuing the sync with Charlotte Met so that we can then move to the new forms. There are several factors with moving to the new forms by this fall, and that's budget and contract date and discussions with upper management at DPI. So we'll let you know more about that. Salary code enhancement, we're looking at adding code 128. That should be in process for the next 3 to 4 weeks. And then I will send out a notice if we're going to update that this year or update it for the fall. And then if you have HRMS, the CEU transfer process was broken in December. It is now fixed. And it was backdated back to December 15th. So you should have all your data. If you have staff that are showing up that are not in your district anymore, check their status in UID, staff UID. If they're still active there for your district, then they're going to show up in this process. The LC credits are now in HRMS, so that process will pick those up as well. And then we were just talking about technology credit, so I'll let you guys read over that slide. And let me see what the question is that came in. Probably because I didn't put an answer in. Well. All right. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, dashboard. Oh, I was going to show you how to update those credits. Let me go back. Sorry about that. I got off track there. So if you do decide to update your technology credits, you can do that on people's transcripts if you're a district administrator. And I'll show you that real quick. So what you would do would be go to system administration, go to user accounts. You just need to get to their transcript. Let me try myself in. And there's not a way to mass update everybody unless you go, if you're used to working in the PD course, you can go back to the roster and there is a bulk way to update credit types even after they've been awarded. So we won't walk through that today, but we'll get you directions when we send out the communication. All right, so it found me. Well, so if you're a district administrator, you can click here and you can view courses and you can view transcript from this drop down. We're going to go to view transcript. All right, so here's my transcript. I have a lot of test courses out here. So you'll see on the left-hand side, some of the places have an edit button. Those are for courses that were taken in NCEES, they're in the course category. So like the digital teaching and learning course, I can update, integrated academic and behavior course, I can update. The ones that have not set, it's because the credit type was put in through the transfer credit manager. And we'll show you how to update those as well. But you can't do those on this page. So if you're a district administrator, you would just click edit, and we'll have to scroll over in just a minute. So notice my buttons change when I click edit. And now I have a save button and a cancel button. And one day they'll fix this scroll bar and we won't have to keep scrolling down to go scroll. So over here on the right, under the credit hours column, we're not changing whether they're completed or not. We're going to change the credit type that's over here. So we're going to pretend that this was set to technology, and now I want it to either be literacy or DLC. So it's going to be a district decision if you want to update these. All right, so once you've got it set there, then you've got to scroll back over here and save it. Or you can zoom out so you can see all your buttons, but I'm zoomed in so you can see it. And then just click save. And now my credit type should be updated. So now I have a digital learning competency on that credit type. Okay. Any questions about how to do that? You must have district administrator rights. Some districts are given like their professional development lead in their PD office, district administrator rights so that they can handle this. It does, since the transcript lives on the evaluation side of the system, we can't give our PD office administrators access to this. They have to be a district administrator. Okay. Good morning. All right, so in transfer credit administrator or manager, I have to set you to be the person that can manage this. So let me know if you need to. I think I'm going to come up with a form that you guys can fill out for when you need people to have access to this, because you can set people to be credit approvers and they can do anything in here but do a bulk request. If you need to be doing bulk request, I have to set that as a separate access right. So I just need to know who to set. So in here, if I've awarded any credits, and there's one done here, so like I've been approved for the course preparing a peck of pickled peppers. So if this needs to be changed from general to a different credit type, I would click on the green thumbs up. Maybe click on it. Or maybe I just need to click here, sorry. View, click on the drop down and click view. Oh, there we go. All right, and down toward the bottom, you're going to see a return to pending button. So we're going to click that. And if you need to send the person a message, put their note in here, we're going to change your credit to whatever, and you're going to submit it. You don't have to put a note in. Okay. So then it puts me right back to that page. And I can scroll down here and let's see, this course was supposed to be 5 hours. So this is 0.5 CEUs. And it was general, so I'm going to move it to DLC. Put in my CEUs, 0.5. And I'm going to approve. And this automatically will update on their transcript. And there's another chance for you to put in a note and submit. So now I should have a credit type of digital learning. So it's back approved and I have the DLC credit type. Okay. Any questions about that process? All right, that's good. I don't see any additional questions right now. We'll come back to our presentation. All right, so the dashboard lock icons, and we'll go back to the live site real quick before we go. We've been going back and forth with the vendor, trying to determine what shows, where do I point to, what do we target, to show the in progress, to show the green check mark, and then to show the green check mark with the lock. So you have to point to a single container or a single activity within the container. We did figure that out. So I'll show you what we're looking at. And we're going to go to staff evaluation. So this is the dashboard we're looking at on the staff evaluations page. And it's your activity status dashboard. Let me zoom out. It's going to be a little hard to see. So we have the check marks here. I'm going to go get a test users. All right, so I have a PD user here, and they're on the comprehensive plan. We'll look at that one. It's for any plan type. We had to pick either a single activity or the container. So I'm in the comprehensive plan. The training and orientation never gets locked, so it doesn't need the lock. So we're going to look at observation 1. So I looked in here, and if you look at the top, the container is named observation 1, and we were pointing to the container. My mouse stopped working. There we go. We were pointing to the container, but the container had an issue in that it doesn't get the little lock icon beside it when you lock the activity. So it would only show when it was in progress and when it was locked, when it was completed, green. We are requesting that they also show when it's locked, because I'd rather point to the container, that as soon as somebody clicks in that first activity, the pre-observation, you'll see a blue flower that's in progress. Because what we had to do was point to the formal observation, this one right here. So this one will now, when it's in progress, it'll show a blue flower. When it's completed, it'll show a green check mark. And then when the lock is done, you'll know that the signatures have been done as well. And then you'll see a green check in the lock. So this is how the system is set up to work. And that's why we pointed to that activity. Do you have any questions about why it's set up like that? Same thing in the PDP plan, we had to point to the main activity, the detail activity. Okay, those of you that are creating PD, we've had requests from people in the district and from my online professional learning leads in our division department. Can they create courses and assign them multiple credit types? Currently, no, they just have to select one. We've been testing this in our test instance. There is a process for us to enable that, but when I went and ran the certificate, the multiple credit types would show on the transcript, but the certificate would only pick up the first credit type. So they have now, as of last week, fixed that problem. The other issue is where we saw the edit button. If you ever decided you wanted to edit the transcript, never edit a multi-credit type because it changes back to one credit type. So that one they said they can't fix right now. So we have to determine if we want to turn it on, and then we have to really tell everybody, don't go edit those on the transcript. You can edit from the roster and update the credit type. Just watch for news on if that's gonna get enabled anytime soon. All right, so district administrator receiving evaluation emails such as, you need to go acknowledge the written response. Is anybody here getting that type of email? So we've had a few district administrators getting them, and the vendor is looking into that. I couldn't find anything. I was working with Rhonda Davis in Brunswick. She gets them on occasion. And what we noticed, or what she noticed, was that sometimes something was missed in the container, so that she would need to reopen the container. So we're wondering if that's why she was getting the email, but that's not scripted out in what I can see this script says. So, and the vendor doesn't see that in the script either, so they're working on following up on that and seeing why some of our district administrators are getting those emails. The staff names is admin staff management. So this is under my staff, administration staff management. Occasionally you'll see names that don't belong to your district there. Sometimes it's very hard to figure out why. Most of the reason why is because there are people that are active in both districts or connected somehow to both districts where the name you see may have been an evaluator for a person that's now in I can sometimes track down who is active in both spots because I can see the whole state. So if you put in tickets, let me troubleshoot it first and then we'll escalate it to the vendor if needed. They're trying to work on a script that will run nightly to clean up any of this access rights. But since we send people sometimes, this payroll doesn't inactivate staff that day they leave. Sometimes it takes 30 days or more. That's why sometimes the names are showing up. There's still a connection and active status somewhere that is happening. The other thing I've asked the vendor to do is we've had past manually assigned the ASW rights, and ASW was discontinued 2 years ago. So we're asking the vendor to disconnect all those because they don't need them anymore. All right. So just stay tuned to that one because I have an update on this ticket that I got early this week. So when I get back to the office, I need to dig in and see what they've done and what the script is doing now. Okay. But yes, definitely put your tickets in so we'll get them up to the vendor so they know how big a problem is going on. Okay. Well. All right, so the staff evaluation heat map. Has anybody tried to run those? Okay, don't. So we're gonna try to hide these, but I've been working with the vendor trying to get them to work. Y'all know where they live? In the staff evaluation page. So when you're in staff evaluations, they're under this graph icon. And you have this aggregate observation heat map and the school observation heat map. I've been working with the vendor on the school observation heat map to try to clean it up because when you go in here, you have a whole lot of forms and fields to check. And it wasn't returning any data for observation. So it only returned data for summary evaluations. So I had them remove all those other little checkboxes. And now we should just be checking for the summary. The issue with running this now is we think it's pulling the data from the observation scoring summary instead of what the principal is actually checking in the summary evaluation. So it has a numerical calculation in the background that says this person should be rated proficient, and the principal might have marked them accomplished. If you run this report, it's going to put proficient. It's not going to put what the principal put. So we just need to determine how we want these reports to work. We had a request this week, can we hide the heat maps until it's fixed? So we'll check on that. The other thing is the aggregate thing also gives you results, I think, for your elements, and elements should not be rated. So, in observations. So if we were to run for observations, we want it to not put any ratings. And Robert's working on some new wording for those. Okay. Don't see any questions. All right, record of activity dates. I'm doing my happy dance because this is finally fixed this week. We seem to have fixed these every other month or two. But now, the vendor finally determined that they did an update here a little bit ago, a while back. And didn't put all the fields back in. So, you can see where the times were for the observations, but it wasn't putting observation dates. And it wasn't putting dates in for some of the other fields. So now everything should be going in, the school location, or listing the timer at the top, this report doesn't have it. And then the screenshot doesn't. But the date should now be in, and all the signature dates should be in. It'll only populate if something's been done in that activity. Any question about that? So, let them know when they're working. And maybe they'll stay working through the end of the year. I hope so. All right, and then we just want to get the news out. The timeline of when data is pulled by the state from your HR departments, from your UID, from payroll. It actually starts now at 4 p.m., not 5 p.m. So if your payroll is putting in a new person, they need to have them in before 4 to be included in the NCEES report. So if you're having trouble with people not showing up until 2 days later, that might be why. Okay. Any questions? Anybody have anything else they want to talk about right this minute before we go into CCEF? Let me check time. All right, it's 11 o'clock. Check the questions. No questions? Okay. So CCEF, we're really excited. It did move to a new week because of basketball season. Maybe that there'll be a bunch of folks attended on the hotel for the March Madness. So we had to go to April. It does fall on some districts on spring break. So I hope we're going to get a good crowd out, and we still have a lot of sessions for NCEES. So do attend if you can. I am going to hold another meeting this year that we did from 5 to 6 last year. This is for the NCEES leads, your HR leads, anybody that works with NCEES can come, and we'll have a panel there. Myself, Robert Sox, Kim Simmons with Educator Effectiveness. Kathy Oliver is our Southeast Regional Facilitator, teacher on loan, something like that. She works a lot with professional development, so she'll be there to help. Those questions, Rhonda Holmes, she's our Central Regional person. She works a lot with charters, so she'll be there. We're looking for a couple more people that want to help us answer questions or help us with the panel. And you can fill out this link right here. So the link is not only to volunteer to be on the panel. If you'd like to join us, we would love to have you. I will pick a couple more to be on the panel, so we don't have too many others, but we'd love to have 6 or 7. I also want to know what your questions are. What do we want? What do we need to talk about? What do you need to know from this guy? What do you need to know from digital teaching and learning with the roadmap overall? What do you need to know from educator support? Any kind of teacher questions, any kind of question. So if you'll fill out that link there, you get time to think the questions you want to ask. We're going to take and aggregate those questions and come up with a list of questions to talk about, but we'll also take questions during that day. Any questions about the panel? Are any of you planning on attending home-based meetups? Hope so. Yeah.
Okay, the link to the form is not.
Is it not going?
Says you need permission.
Okay. I'll get that fixed tonight. Okay. Now let me check on that. I thought I said it, but I'll check on that during our break if we have a break or at lunchtime. It's not going? Okay. All right. I'll check on that. We're using the new Google Suite, so I just have to make sure I got the permission set. Okay. So I made you a list of what we're offering for NCEES at this. I did not have the dates and times yet, but that did get published Monday or Tuesday, so I'll put the link at the bottom. It's actually a spreadsheet. You're going to have to search for NCEES. There's a NCEES tag for the NCEES session. And you'll also see sessions from your peers that are doing beginning teacher support, managing your classroom, talking about rigor and student goal setting, different things like that. So from DPI, Kim's going to do a teacher-led conference session. I think that's new. And then principal standards. Principal standards are on track to be updated. They're working on those. And Robert's going to be talking about that. So that might be a good important one to get to. I don't know if it's going to be implemented this fall or the 2021. Understanding the evaluation rubric. We're really working hard on that one. A lot of people don't understand it. You're not getting rated during the observation. This is Robert's section. I'm walking everybody through. Sometimes the principal's the one that doesn't understand. Sometimes the teacher is the one that doesn't understand. That you should be on track to support teachers for grade, not rating during observation. The rating comes at the end of the year. And then connecting the dots to manage staff, that's myself and Rhonda Davis. I'm walking you through the HR process and what source systems feed into me. I think I skipped over expanding the pathway to PD. This is if you want to utilize that PD office. This is a great session to go to. Kathy came from Brunswick County. She puts all the PDs that they ever do. And it doesn't have to be a course. It can be your PLCs, your book fund, whatever you're doing, that they're going to get credit for in that PD office. Okay. Then I'm going to have a new one, what? NCEES transcripts to track all your PD. And that's going to touch on what we do in the PD office, but it's also going to focus on that transfer credit manager and the PD playlist, sorry. And then how all that works on the transcript. Sean Bayer from Power School. He does our little webinars if you had attended for our event. He's awesome. He's going to be doing dashboards, how it drives PD and evaluation, and then PD reporting at NCEES. Jeff King, he's also with Power School. He's a marketing manager, strategic account person. He has been working with us on implementing the premium library. So that was put on hold because of all the changeover in who owned our system. So now it's getting built back up. I'm excited about this. This is where you buy seats. So you can work on it during the summer, buy the number of seats you need for your teachers that you're planning out, and have them access it through NCEES. We're trying to work out a way where quarterly we can get the state together as a group and find out which courses are important for your teachers to take and get group rates for you during like a 2-week time frame. So you can take advantage of group rates. So Justin has more information on that. Okay, setup. And then the usual sessions. The evaluation processes for teachers and principals. If you got brand new people that are just in any role, it's fine. We'll have the basics and tips session, reporting basics, and just whatever all the other peers are involved. So I'm really excited about NCEES. I hope you guys can make it out. Here's the dates and the registration costs. So if you can register by February 29th, again, your check does not have to be in at this time. So go ahead and register for that lower cost rate. Okay, so now it's your turn. If you'll click on that link for February 26th, that is going to go to your Padlet. And so I'm asking you guys, what have been your challenges since last December and what have been your success? So I'm going to go silent for about 5 minutes and y'all fill that out. If you guys online would do that as well. I do have a link in the chat for that if you're not on our slides right now. Okay, thank you. And if you want to, if you see somebody's note, if you want to star it, you can rate it. You can also add comments to it. Oh, I think we do have some questions, so I'll get those in a minute. Let's see. There we are. So Blair, can you see the chat? I put the links to the slides in there. Let's see. Okay, I just put all the links and sent them to everybody in the questions panel for all the different things. We have links to the slides, the Padlet, and the NCEES CCES sessions. So Blair, the chat is different than the question section, and depending on how your GoToMeeting is set up or GoToWebinar, I've had some folks send me a screenshot and they may not see the chat. So I did put the links in the question section. And the chat is in, should be in your webinar panel. I don't know if you can see my screen, but I have a chat right here. Got chat. So Megan, you had a question for HRMS seems to block workshop. Not quite sure what that is, so if you'll add that to the Padlet as one of my action items, and then I'll find out who can get you that answer. I'm not sure if there's another workshop on the same day, what that means. So send me your question in detail and also put it in the action items. All right, is anybody still having issues finding the links? You see the links in the answered questions. Yep, let me try again. Oh, got them. Good, Blair. Thank you for letting me know. Rhonda, did you get the links? I see you had that you couldn't see the chat either. Okay, does anybody need more time? We're going to start talking about the successes in just a minute. And you can keep adding items as we talk, that's fine. And if you want to say anything about what is up here on the screen, then just go ahead and unmute yourself and talk. Or if anybody in the room wants to talk, that's good as well. All right, we're going to get started back. All right, the first success is yay, CEUs are coming through TNL. I'm saying yay because that was a little bit of a process getting that fixed. So I'm glad they're coming through now for HRMS. And we've had kudos this week also at our other stops that we've had about assuming identity. It's been a great value for a lot of district administrators. And then running smoothly. We've been hearing that a lot lately too. So I'm happy that we've got a lot fixed. I think now we're digging into the little things that need fixed. And so we'll keep moving forward to support you guys. So just let me know anytime you need to do something. And somebody else is agreeing with it. Somebody's got, looks like a lot of stars, that assume identity has been wonderful. And wow, no challenges. All right. And then when CEUs come through, they took another workshop the same day. It doesn't want to offer. Okay, so yes, so and I think Megan, you put this in. If you'll open the ticket and give me some samples, I'll get that to our HRMS department because they'll have to troubleshoot on their side, and we'll also get it up to the vendor so they can like combine troubleshooting about what's going on. So thank you for putting that there, and I'll follow back up on that one. Anybody need a stretch break before we go? Mm-hmm. Thank y'all for filling that out. That helps me a lot. I appreciate it. So I went back the last time we met, and there were only a few questions then. The staff evaluation page for the padlock icon, the teacher background box. And not everybody knows where that is, so I'll show that to you. Had a question on can APs edit this? I am checking on that this week. I apologize that I did not follow up on that sooner. I think they can as long as they're site admin, but we're going to check if they've been left as a user. and they've been assigned an evaluation, can they edit that box? I would hope so, but let me check on that. So going back into my comprehensive plan. And we're going down to the record of activities. So that's here. And we're going to click in here. So this field here, the record of evaluation activities, has an edit button. It should have it for principals and DAs. You can click at it. And one of the fields here is teacher background. The directions in the guide says put in the teacher background. Most districts are not doing that. They're using this for those important notes. Move this teacher to a monitor plan, or they're on leave and now they're back, different things like that. So a lot of different information can go in here. It's not a required field. It was required to be clicked in to populate the school position and assignment on your record of activity, but we've moved that. So now it populates when the teacher gets their orientation completed. Now the school and the role will populate in the record of activity report. So you no longer have to click in here and not do anything with it to fill in those fields. If we see any more blank fields, let me know, because occasionally it will revert back. So just let me know, we'll get it fixed. So this is where this goes. So I just need to test with a assistant principal to see what they can see and what they can access. That's a user. But if they have site admin rights, definitely they should be able to get in here. All right, any questions about that? All right, and then the TNL to HRMS transfer process. Okay, we're skipping through lunch. So we're going to continue. We'll probably get through this unless you have a lot of things you want to look at or something you want me to stay with and you walk you through. So the end of year is coming up. These are our Kim and I's presentations from last year. We are going to hold webinars in March for teachers and principals, so you'll have the updated webinar soon. These are the presentations from last year if you need to review end of year process. So what you need to do is confirm that your staff lists are accurate, especially beginning to April and later. School districts are hiring new people for next year, and sometimes they accidentally get activated in UID, so you're going to see their name pop up. Just remind payroll to please inactivate them until July 1st. Delete or archive unnecessary plans. You have a report that can tell you if somebody has more than one plan type, and we'll look at that in a minute. So you should be deleting or archiving the unnecessary. Deleting is not a hard delete, just a reminder. It gets deactivated. You'll no longer see it. The teacher will have it in their deactivated plans, but they'll also still keep their regular one when it gets archived. Confirm that those evaluations and PDPs are complete. And then the system will close out. I'm going to say June 30th, but we're still waiting on the DPI official date. So it should be June 30th, the end of the fiscal year, closing after the end of business at 5 p.m. on that day. So how can your admin check for and clean up multiple evaluation plans? These are your district administrators and NCEES. You would go run your quick report. We'll look at the list of those in a minute. But then you would also, once you find out that somebody has more than one plan type, you can go to the staff evaluations and you can see the list. So up here I have somebody that has 2 standard evaluations, one that's never been anything done in it, and one that has 2 green checks. So if it's never had anything done and that teacher has never clicked that new start new button, I always have the vendor run a script that removes all of those. So you don't have to worry about starting that plan and deleting it. Just tell them not to touch that start new button and it will clean up at the end of the year. If they click start new, you're going to have to delete your archive. And whatever you're comfortable with, it's fine. If they have more green checks in both plans and you're not sure which one to archive or delete, you would come over here and just drop down and you would choose archive or delete. So you check in, you click in and open the plan so you can verify. There's now a delete button in the top right-hand corner. So you can delete the plan while you're in it. And that way, I can come back and everybody's just, which one was I really looking at? Because if they had the same number of green checks, it's hard to take. You can do that while you're in the plan.
So which report is that? I'm seeing the users with more than one active evaluation plan
That's it.
for 1819.
It should have a star in front of it. Right here. It's not at the bottom of the list. Current year. You're not looking for the year on it. It says current year now. You see it? Okay. Yes. Okay. So this is your list of quick reports. And of course, this is under the reporting tab. And you're going to go to the quick reports module. You have all your end of year summary reports, your relationship reports, your evaluation completion exception report to find out who's not done what activity. And then the signature reports, make sure they're all in there. And then that all important users with more than one active evaluation. Remind your payroll finance that they should not activate new staff that are going to be active next year. They should stay inactive until July 1st. Okay. And then you also have those other reports. Individuals with more than one site in your district, that may be fine. They went from school A to school B. Do they still need access to school A? And if they should not, then you just need to have payroll update staff ID to make them inactive at school A. And then if they're moved district, and you're going to see that if they're connected to you and somebody else. So then you have to get with the other district to inactivate them, or you need to inactivate them, depending on what is correct. And that's very important because it does put both school names on their plan.
What does it mean if it gives you the option to memorize this report?
Oh, then when you're on the My Reports page, your memorized reports will show there. So if it's something you want to run often, go ahead and memorize it. All those quick reports don't have that memorized option, but some do.
Okay.
So then it'll just be on that page and you can just scroll down your page and select it.
And then like most of mine, the person's name, of course, is listed twice because the name has an abbreviated and a number.
Yes.
A few of them are not listed twice. Like their name's not listed twice.
Okay, so that may be one we need to look at individually during our networking time.
Yeah.
And let's see what's going on.
Okay.
Why it's in there with just one.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see if we have any questions from the field. All right, thank you, Rhonda. Okay, I think we're good in the folks that are watching us. All right, so for your principals, they want to know when they can get in that summary evaluation. They have to make sure all the required activities are completed. And for the comprehensive plan, it's going to include your peer observation. Even if your teacher is not a beginning teacher, if they're on a comprehensive plan, they have to have that peer observation completed. You have options with that. There's a little not looked for button, but it must be done. It won't go on and open the summary unless you check. Your standard evaluation needs 3 observations. Your abbreviated needs 2. And then the late hire doesn't have a policy, but we have the observation 1 required to open the summary. Here's the locking activities. This now also includes your signatures because those are required as well. And then how can you check if your plans are locked? So that's on that staff dashboard page. If you see the lock icon in the summary evaluation plan, it should mean that everything is done and completed. Because it does have requirements and you can't get down there until you've done everything in the plan in the order that was set. I've also published reports for you to run, and these are locking summary reports. These are ad hoc reports. So if you're going to run an ad hoc report from your reporting tab, you can just run it. Or if I've set a filter, you can select the filters in it. However, if you go into system administration and go to ad hoc reporting restricted and run these from there, then you can add your own parameters or take away what I've got set. These are still updating some of these end of year reports, so I should have all those done by the end of the week. So they're copied over. All right, and this one, I learned about this week from Wake County. They said they like to have their principals run the staff evaluation completion report. Not going to see that, but if you go to the evaluation completion report and you select the plan that you want to run, don't worry about this PDP. When you first come in here, you can run your PDP plan. But if you want to run an evaluation, you need to select it. It comes up with a list and there everything is checked. So if you scroll down and deselect all those check marks, then you can come back and just check locking activity. And that's what she has the principal do. They refresh the page and then they only have locking activity fields up here in the results down below. And of course, these results also can be exported to PDF or downloaded as CSV. Any questions about that report? I'm going to click off that screen, it won't let me turn. There we go. So what is the status of completion of evaluations of PDP plan? You want to know, is everybody completing according to my calendar that I've given them? So there's more ad hoc reports that you can run for evaluation, for PDP, and then what reports do I need to run at the end of the school year? And those especially are your summary ratings reports. Those will inform what plan types are on next year, correct? And then what PDP plan type they'll be on. Instructional support staff, I have reports for you. You can, of course, go to ad hoc reports and create your own reports to have the data that you need. These are just a general direction of what most people need. And an administrator has a summary rating report as well. You also have your quick reports for the summary rating. And here's the link to the list that I have. If you click on that and the report is highlighted in yellow, they are now at 1920 status year. So the ones that are highlighted, I'm still updating. Okay, so here's the reporting page. Up here, my ad hoc reports. This is where you're going to see those reports that I published to you. If you create reports and publish them to your principals, they'll show up there for them. And when you're creating an ad hoc report, you can set filters for first name, last name, and then they'll see the filters when they come to this page and they click on that report. So they only need to run for all the Smiths in the building, and they can do that, but you choose what the filters are. Okay. All right, so we are in middle of year to end of year. Some teachers may still be struggling with meeting some goals, and they may need to take some PD here towards the end of the year. Remember that we have the light bulb feature in the observation. So they can, principal can click on that light bulb when they're having that conference or before they have that conference, and they can recommend or require PD that is aligned to the standard that the teacher has selected to help meet their goal. So that's good. There's the link to the guide for that. Teachers can also see the light bulb, and they can go select their own PD that's aligned to a standard. When the principal sets it, it goes into their My Courses page, and in a container that says recommended PD, and then have another container that says required, depending on what he or she is selected. They can hide recommended PD, but they cannot hide the required PD. Nothing is forcing them to take it, however, and they don't get an email that he or she has done that. So you still need to follow up with the teacher. Hey, I've assigned you to do something. The other issue, I was trying to make sure all the plans saw the light bulb. So the self-assessment doesn't see the light bulb, and the abbreviated plans don't see the light bulb. And that was just because of how the targeting was set up. So when DPI created courses, they targeted to the header called Teacher Evaluation Plan. And the only plans that were connected to that were the standard, the comprehensive, and the late hire. For some reason, abbreviated wasn't connected to that overall header. I'm working with the vendor for moving forward. If you select that selection, then it will add all the plan types. So your abbreviated plans are not going to have light bulbs. Now, when you set up your PD, you can also target the standards as well. And you can do it to the teacher evaluation, or you can do it to individual plan types. Okay, quickly check for questions. I think we're good. Okay, I think we're good. Okay. This is very important. Run your reports and save. Especially as you get toward that end of the year, that June 30th date. Any report that you need for getting data for the summer, for next year, run it now and save it. Because once the year clicks over, NCEES is notorious that it only pulls correctly the ratings, if you're running ratings reports, and the UID. If the teacher has changed schools, if you're running last year's report, it's going to put the new school name. If the teacher has changed plan types, it's going to put last year's standard ratings, but this year's plan type title. So run your reports before the end of the year and save them. So even Wake County said they run all their data, which is a huge file, and then she can go in and like Excel and manage what data she needs when a principal or a superintendent needs to report. The other thing, if you have staff that were active this year and they've not gone anywhere else, you can reactivate them before you run your report. Anybody need to walk through that process on how to do that? I'll go look at it. All right, so we're going to go to system administration. And you can do this from either the My Staff profile page. I'm just used to going this way to user accounts. Okay, I'm clicking on it. There we go. All right. So what you would do is click on their name. I'm going to show you me. And we're going to pretend I'm inactive. Well, let me come back. Got to tell you what to do. So here, you may want to change this to inactive and then update the table so that you only see your inactives. If you come over here and remove the filters, it automatically updates the table, but it gives you both active and inactive. So we're going to pretend mine came up inactive. So you would click on their name, go in there's user details. And you have to come down and click edit. It's similar to when people leave your district and they forgot to print out their summary evaluations. You can come in here and do this so you can go to the summary, to the evaluation page and run their past summaries. All right, I think I passed it here. So if this was saying inactive, then I just come in here, I choose active, and I click save. I make sure, and you determine if you want to do this. It might be a big lift to go inactivate all your staff. You still, because it's going to pull, when you pull your inactive, anybody that's been with your school system. So you're going to need a list of who was with you this year that you want to include in that report. As long as UID is correct, they will go back inactive that night, or you can come back in and set them back to inactive. So if they remain active the next day, then check UID. Okay, any questions about how to do that? Here. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, make sure you save the copies, digital copies, hard copies. Remind your teachers as they're leaving you, your principals remind, hopefully your principal will let you know when somebody's leaving. I know when I was a data manager, I didn't always get that notice. Teachers will be gone. I'm like, oh, well, I could have finished up some stuff before I did that. But if they let you know, make sure they finish their plans as far as they can. It wouldn't hurt to go ahead and archive that plan, because then the next district won't see it. That makes sense. So if you know they're leaving. And then work with payroll, possibly leave staff. So we had this question, I had some temporary staff who contracts run out the second week in June. So payroll was thinking because they usually leave back for 30 days, was inactivating them right in. And then they were included in the end of year reports. So they could go reactivate them if they haven't gone anywhere else, but sometimes they do because they like if they're on year round, they might go to another school to teach during the in-between time. Okay. And then again, a reminder not to activate any new staff that's due for 2021. And then if principals need to do this document override for the teachers that are refusing to sign, observations only. Make sure you do this, not on that last day of school, because it takes overnight for the signature to update. So if this is getting done last minute, they need to do it a day or two before that last day of school. Okay. All right, so we're in networking time. What time we got? I've got 11:35. So we've got one more hour according to the schedule over there, but again, I'm here for as long as you need me. So this is what everybody put in saying they wanted to talk about. I don't really have any training planned for this afternoon. So we'll look at, I put a slide for each of the requests. So some people were asking about access rights and the administrator guide. Here's a link to that administrator guide. And if you have questions about that, please get them in and we'll walk through whatever we need to. The next one was professional development. If anybody needs me to walk you through how to create a course, how to set those course tags, the standard tags on a course, we can walk through that. And then some people wanted to know more about ad hoc reporting. We did do a webinar here a while back. And this is the guide for ad hoc reporting. So we can walk through any of that you want to. And then others were asking about dashboards for admins and the staff groups. This is Sean Bayer's slide deck from last year at NCEES. He always does a good presentation about this, but I'm happy to work with you about setting up staff groups and looking at the different dashboard options in NCEES. So now I'm going to take questions from you. Do you have anything specific that you wanted to see during our networking time? Or do you have any comments for each other about what you do during the end of year? How you handle what reports to run, who to notify what when? I'm just going to open it up to the audience. Let's see if they have any questions. Let's see, you might have a couple questions. And I'm sorry you guys can see everybody that's asking the questions, but I don't have a separate screen to put questions on, but so I hope you don't mind. UCPS does not use the credit request via NCEES. Yet I am approving as they come in. What is the advantage of it? If once approved, it does not sync with HRMS. So Blair, we probably do need to look at this later because if your district is using HRMS, it should be syncing. So that should be working now, if I'm reading your question right. But if you mean you're manually updating it in HRMS, then that's a district decision. What the advantage is when you're bringing them over from NCEES is that you don't have to manually enter everything, but you do have to resolve any duplicates, choose how they come in. There's different criteria for you to bring those credits over. It's going to ask you different questions to bring them all over. So maybe we can walk through that, maybe with Wendy Henson from HRMS, and walk you through that. And there is a link on the slide for that if you go to that site, there's a webinar about the topic on how to do the process, and there's a help guide, and it's called TNL. Remember, it's still called TNL over there, TNL CEU credit instruction. So look for those. And I hope that answers your question, but I will get with you later. Let me see if I can unmute you. Okay, try now, Blair. Oh, that's right, sorry. Let me try Blair. Okay, Blair.
Hey, I'm not talking about the HRMS, NCEES, like
Uh-huh.
coursework thing. What I'm talking about is the actual credit request when people upload, like they've been in out of district PD
Uh-huh.
event,
In the
and
transfer-
so then I go in and approve it.
Yes,
But that does not actually speak to over to HRMS.
it should.
The ones that you're approving, I don't mean the NCEES courses, I mean the uploaded,
You're talking about
um,
transfer credit requests and managers.
yes.
Yes, they should because they're on the transcript. They should still go over and it should show in HRMS as transfer credit, I think is how it shows up.
Huh, nope, it hasn't.
Okay, so
At all.
open a ticket and we'll get with Wendy's team and figure out why yours are not.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Thank you for explaining, appreciate that.
Mhm.
Okay, let's see what the next question is. All right, so last year I activated the teachers that were made inactive. The way the update takes place, the UID HRMS overrides changes back to inactive. Yes, when you do that process, you're gonna have to make sure you're doing it on the day you're running the reports. Because overnight, whatever's in UID is gonna put them back to whatever status they were in UID. So if they're inactive out there, and don't activate them out there because that might mess up some other information. Make sure you're just doing it in NCEES, but you can't leave it. You're gonna have to do it every day you want to run a report. Hope that. Okay. All right. Okay, so Megan, so we'll, if you'll put in a ticket too, that'll help Megan for the transfer credit manager issue. And that was one thing I did talk to them about, and we thought we saw it coming over. So we do need to check on that. All right, and I think that's all the questions that are coming from you guys in the webinar audience, live stream audience. How about in here? Do we have anything you guys want to walk through? Okay, you good with access rights and all the other information? Oops, clicked on something. All right, so you guys may be getting done early today. All right, so I know we have a single one that I need to look at individually, but we're going to finish out the slides, and then if you guys want to go ahead and go, that's fine. And we'll dismiss after we finish the slides. Please do fill out the feedback. I'll fix the link for the CCES questions and make sure you guys can access that form. I definitely want those questions, so we'll get that fixed. All right, so we have AP webinar. You're waving at everybody. So I hope y'all have enjoyed your session today. So coming up, we have our AP webinar series. So we have the assistant principals that have been really well attended, really informative for your newer APs. Kim and I have one. Kim ran the webinar on February 25th yesterday. I think we had over 100 in there. We have over 400 signed up for the series. The next one will be March 31st, but she's walking them through every standard and then answering any questions as they ask them to bring it back to the next session. So then brand new is a quality feedback webinar. Please let your evaluators and observers know this is brand new. Ken's really excited about this. How to provide that quality feedback in the summer to the family. So that's timely for what's coming up for the end of the year. I think this will be great. I'm all asked to send out a targeted email to everybody, but if you have anybody in your district that should be taking this or watching this, please let them know. Remember, questions thing now. Guys can see the screen okay. And then, of course, we have our end of year webinars. March 10th will be the one for the teachers, and March 17th will be for the principals. And of course, anybody can join either one of these. You don't have to be a teacher to join the teacher one. Principals can join it as well. It's informative to all. If you have teachers on track for being a principal, they may want to listen in. Here's our district lead. I heard that Kelly Jones has gone back to teach, so we'll probably be filling some open spots. We did request people to put in to fill our advisory board. They meet quarterly with DPI and then help inform the roadmap as far as what's going on with all the products from the place. So that process for the people that put in for this, that was in limbo because Rosalind's job wasn't filled. So Rob Dietrich is our new home-based manager, and as soon as he gets on board, I'm hoping to move forward with the people that applied to be on the advisory. Okay, so we do want to hear from you. Please do fill out our feedback. Anything that you thought we should be doing today, let me know. Any kudos, go ahead and put everything that you would like. I do read everything and take it. And then, of course, we're going west to east next time, so hopefully you can join us for the next session in April. And then there's a slide for our support desk. Remember the new number up there, so a lot of you do email me when you need help. I'm happy to help, but if I need to escalate a ticket, I definitely have to have the ServiceNow ticket in first. Okay. So if we don't have any further questions, I'll check our panel, but I think you guys are free for the day and appreciate you coming out. Okay, so is there a best day to go to the conference for NCEES? Megan, it's just going to depend on what you want to take. I'm hoping in the next newsletter, I'll try to send it out before Friday. Let me go ahead and work on that tonight. I did put a link to our sessions, but I didn't have all the dates and times. I have those now. So I'll go ahead and resend that out so you guys can make your decisions before the 29th. But we are on all 3 days. Most of them will be on Monday and Tuesday. Sean's sessions for the dashboard and Jeff's session will be on Wednesday. And then I'll have some repeat sessions Wednesday afternoon. Most of our NCEES folks are gone by Wednesday, so we're hoping they hang around for Sean's and Jeff's information on Wednesday. Our panel meeting is Monday night from 5 to 6, so you may do want to come on Monday. But I'll get that out for you guys. All right. So I jumped up instead of going up. Okay. You're welcome, Ray. All right. So if anybody doesn't have any further questions, I hope I've got all your questions answered now. Make sure I got them. All right. I do appreciate you guys coming out today. You guys are awesome. I learned just as much from you guys that I hope I am also giving you information back. So thank you. You guys go have a great day, and I'll go ahead and end the webinar in just 1 second.